Good morning and a welcome. It is a One Esports Dota 2 Singapore Major time, and it is day 2 of the wildcards, and that means that at the end of the day, 3 teams are going home. And in case you missed anything of yesterday's games, let's take a look at some highlights.
Previously.
Twice, roll forward from Tiger will be put to a stop by the balance strike of Weeha. Miracle getting a little scared though, just popped the BKB himself. So now he's going to be vulnerable, and Mickey knows it. Straight in with the Dream Coil down onto the two of them. They'll get the Wukong's command out as they try and keep Miracle alive, but Boxy's in with the BKB. He sees him, takes him down as Miracle's out of the game. No buyback, so's Kuro. As 2 are down, Liquid, they seize the opportunity to dive in. Insania,
Insania, he's
drop
in
the freezing field as they can't deal with the Crystal Maiden now at this point even. They're trying to get in with a fear. They're going to still make the jump, but already Liquid, they're going to be ready with the counterplay. They spear Arme over towards the trees. Mickey is getting low. Out slowly but surely by the freezing field of Insania. He tries to go for the TP out Arme, but the Gleipnir in position to lock him down, stop his escape. GG is called. As Liquid, they will continue this incredible opening streak they're having here at the Major.
Now Alchemist charging up stun, gonna stun himself here. No BKB used, he might just be in trouble here.
Yeah, stun on himself, and here we go
big
with the
blunder here.
Yeah, and here we go with the setting up the turn on the BKB. He's running away, he's trying to find a target for Alchemist. Oh no, a little bit too being, I'm not sure. And next one gonna be Kuroki, getting chopped down by PSG Arme. And go, but Arme will always come back. Arme, use Scepter trying to set up on that timber chain. He's stuck there at the in front of the tier 4 tower.
Yeah, this is the game deciding fight here.
Yeah. Waveform's in, they're trying to find Lion, but very fast reaction by Lion, hex him first. That actually slowed down the chase of Team Nigma.
Games, obviously all that you saw right there was games on our channel where you're watching right now, but we have 2 streams going on at the same time, and we had some crazy games on the other stream as well, which we are definitely going to talk about here with Tsunami and Gods. Gentlemen, we had the first day of the first international LAN event in over a year. Tsunami, were you happy with how yesterday played out?
For the most part, I was slightly disappointed by the fact that we have 2 teams that are 0 victories between T1 and Team Nigma. Also a little bit disappointed that there were no draws. It was all 2-0s.
Which is, in a way, I think in a way, that's actually really good. Because we know for a fact that T1 and Team Nigma, first of all, they are of course the only teams in the wildcard gods that are not having their full roster, so that will make a difference there as well. But we know for a fact that they are, every time that they lost, it wasn't tight, it wasn't close. You know, you want to eliminate the worst ones, you want to have the best ones proceed, and I don't think there's going to be any doubts here.
Yeah, I think often you have these wildcard group stage round robins and you walk away thinking, oh, all the teams are kind of even. You don't know who's better. It's very clear who the good teams are and who the less good teams are here.
Very.
How gracious of you.
We're starting the day. We're starting the day.
Yeah.
The hostility comes
well.
later.
But we know for a
That's why I
fact that
like
they
the
are
wildcard concept. It's been so long that we've had wildcards. Pretty much just TI that has wildcards, and it's fun to be able to have these kind of intense stakes at
every
multiple
time
stages
that they
of the
lost.
tournament.
It wasn't
just group stage
tie,
in the playoffs.
it wasn't
We
close.
Get to experience the thrill of
You
elimination.
know, you want to eliminate the worst ones. You want to have the best ones proceed, and I don't.
How gracious of you.
We're starting the day. We're
question
starting the
before
day.
we look at the standings.
Hostility
If I
comes
were to
later.
ask you yesterday, but we know for a
That's why I
fact that
liked
they
the
are,
wildcard
when
concept. It's
it
been
was
so
still
long.
2 teams that were going to advance at the moment. It's 3, of course. Which 2 teams did you guys have in passing the wildcard stage?
I think I did an interview before the tournament and I had Liquid and Vici Gaming.
Ooh.
So, or Liquid and LGD. It was Liquid and one of the Chinese teams.
Okay.
But
Mine was one of the Chinese teams, Vici, and not the European team that is undefeated,
Ooh.
but the European team that is fully defeated right now. So that was also before.
You didn't know the standings, though.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So given the mind control RMN situation, but even then, like Nigma have not. I don't know. We'll see. Today, there's a very slim probability that they will be able to enter a tiebreaker in this wild card.
I saw some stats from Knoxville. Shout out to all the stats he's putting out, by the way. And 99% chance to not make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we've learned from Dota Plus, 99% means nothing. 100% means nothing a lot of the time.
That's true. Let's take a look at these standings, though. We know that Team Liquid and Vici Gaming are indeed doing a really area. Because, yeah, Liquid, Vici, good. T1, Nigma, not so good. PSG LGD, ASM Gambit, who knows? Tsunami. I want to point out that everything was 2-0, and you mentioned that.
Correct.
One of those series should not have been a 2-0.
67-minute game.
Oh,
What
yeah.
was that? Like, in case people miss it, was Vici Gaming taking on AS Monaco Gambit, and game 2 was a little bit, tiny bit up throw on the side of the Eastern European teams. And, I mean, Vici Gaming obviously were able to capitalize on some mistakes made there, but those mistakes should not have been made.
Yeah, and I think overall that's a good sign for
Yeah.
Gambit. It's like they're competing with the top teams here. They're going to feel confident going in against LGD. They also 2-0'd Nigma in very convincing fashion. And yeah, Nigma's 0-6, but they're still a world-class team, at least on their good days. So, I don't know. I think they're going to be coming in with a lot of confidence today.
They definitely are too.
Really, the only concern is if Gambit have trouble against the Chinese meta, because Vici Gaming picked up the support Luna, and LGD picked up the support Luna as well. And we'll see if it's some of this regional flavor that may be an issue, because Gambit doing that anymore is just a CIS specialty.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how today is going to play out, because from what it looks like, one of those two teams will be going home and the other one will be moving forward. Courtesy, of course, that there's 3 teams moving from wildcards. Otherwise, the future was looking pretty grim for both of those teams. Let's take a look at the schedule for today. We've got 4 series coming your way again. And we have also in the other stream, we have 3 series coming your way. I want to point out that on the side of the second stream, Vici Gaming versus Team Nigma is the first series. If Nigma drop even a single game, they are 100% eliminated. Same thing goes for T1. There are still some mathematical possibilities, but they're very slim. But gods, what are you looking forward to most on the side of our stream?
Looking this first game, really.
Yeah.
This first game just decides so much as far as who could be getting that 3rd slot. I think Vici versus Team Liquid is going to be probably the highest level of Dota we might see today, but this is the most tense, important matchup of today.
Would you agree?
Yeah, I was gonna lean with the Vici Liquid, because I still have looked at all the Liquid games. At this point, it's pretty much confirmed that they're in, but I don't really think that. I mentioned at the end of yesterday's stream that we're just seeing the tip of their iceberg of all their strategies, and now that they don't really have that much pressure, I think they'll continue doing the Huskar Oracle that we saw towards the tail end of yesterday. They really just have they're unchained right now.
They're unchained, and I mean, you mentioned the Huskar Oracle. It's still something that we've seen before. I'm curious if they're going to pull out new things, or if they're just going to, like, at the moment they're cruising, right? If they're just going to continue cruising through. But let's focus on our first series of the day, because there's going to be a lot of effort put into this one, because this is a series that could very well be the deciding series. Are you going to continue, or are you going to be in a plane tomorrow home after 2 days of playing? It's going to be the series between two football organizations. I was looking up when the last time they were playing, found out last time these two teams were playing. Different game. February, it was 2-0 for AS Monaco Gambit. Well, AS Monaco, because obviously Gambit part is not in the football part.
Right.
But I mean, that's pretty...
Just based off of DPC performance, I'm leaning the Chinese teams. I think there's been more competition in the Chinese DPC than in the Eastern Europe DPC, and so everyone considered Gambit to be underdogs. They have exceeded expectations as of yesterday, but I still feel like the Chinese teams may have an edge.
Chinese teams may have an edge, but if these guys have anything to say about it, that edge will be dulled. Indeed, yeah. I was wondering where I was gonna take that. Thank you. These guys, though, I have to talk to you about these guys. I might be a little biased, considering I was covering their DPC league. They did not start out this season with this roster, and at the moment, no one is still considered a stand-in. He came in after they have played 4 series. They looked pretty good, and then they started looking a little bit shaky. Adding a new mid player obviously changes your whole dynamic. And I feel like what we saw from them yesterday, Gods, I think that they have gelled it out. They looked coherent and solid.
Yeah, they have very kind of clearly defined strats. They're picking some slightly different heroes we're not seeing elsewhere. Like they ran the Terrorblade. I mean, it was a very good Terrorblade game, but they're just doing things their own way. They're not just saying, let's just go with the meta. They're saying, let's go with our play style. The same thing that you're seeing succeed for teams like Vici, where they're playing the support Luna, the support Gyros. They're doing their style of Dota, and I think that's how you do well at these big tournaments.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like Gambit's shortcomings right now are the shortcomings of any fresh roster, which is just consistency. And if you have strong in-game shot calling, which is why we saw that 67-minute game go the distance and end up the way that it does, because you have to be playing with the same 5 stack for a long time to be able to have that late-game consistency.
Definitely. And when you're talking about having to have played with the same team for a long time, PSG LGD, not with the 100% same roster, but of course they did come, well, 4 of them came from eHome in, what was it, September. They switched organizations, they added Abe back as well. But 4 of these players have been playing together for a very long time, and all of them are familiar with each other. And that experience, combined with the fact that the amount of games this team played professionally against high-tier teams, comparative to say is Monaco Gambit, is just insanely high. Like, they play all the time, every tournament under the sun, and they should definitely have all that. Everything should be gelled out, Tsunami.
If not, Zhao 8, their coach, will have some stern words for them.
The director.
Exactly. This man has choreographed something which still, even though looking at the Chinese DPC, it's still neck and neck between all the top teams. Just because right now LGD is in wildcards. In other leagues, LGD ends up in grand finals. I'm sure behind in scrims, it's incredibly competitive. And the top of the top at China is random on any given day.
Yeah, that's very well put, and it was somewhat random in the DPC league as well. PSG LGD almost didn't make it through, Gods.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, what Tsunami is saying, that top 5-6 teams in China are just neck and neck because of his success on the world stage. But I actually think Dream as well as Ame, Dream for Gambit, is a more important player. I think no one's just solid, steady. He's winning his lane. He's playing dominant Dota, but I think Dream's performance is what's determining whether Gambit win.
Dire team pick.
It's a little shaky, you know. And we saw yesterday Karuki was playing in mid.
10
you're
seconds
the mid laner.
remaining.
You're the one that needs to be making a lot of space on the map. But he just rushed that Axe so that he
5
could give it
seconds
over to
remaining.
Miracle. Hopefully he can, make some sort of game happen with it, but it just didn't
Radiant
result in
team
anything,
pick.
right? Because you're still just sitting back for so long, just trying to wait for something to happen. I'm liking that they're changing something up puck, I want to see Weeha play the puck in the middle, because it is one of those few heroes that actually does suit the meta right now, and it is the best hero in the meta right now. And
Trading.
yeah, I mean, they initially started picking
5
the shot
seconds
when
remaining.
it was the undying meta, and the wards are great at dealing with the tombstones, so you can quickly turn a fight around. But
Radiant team
honestly,
pick.
you mentioned it perfectly right. It's a great counter to the puck, but Vici doesn't even care. They just pick the hero anyway. They just really like it. So the fact that Nigma have kind of played into their hands a little bit and
Dire
gone with the
team
puck,
ban.
they're laughing.
What's it with?
See Old 11 most likely be picking up this Pangolier. I think we saw DY play it from the POS 5 role once in the stages yesterday. So we'll see what's happening. The big advantage that the Chinese teams had over some of these European
10
ones
seconds remaining.
is that they've actually had a few side tournaments going on in the lead up to the majors. So they've been able to practice in officials against some of these teams that they'll be facing up against. So maybe they're a bit more in tune with, you know, what the current meta is as opposed to just through screens.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Ten seconds remaining.
I think it was a Gambit series yesterday where Monkey, once you get Ags, is so ridiculous. You know, you just stand in the Roche pit, you can literally solo Roche, and there's nothing the enemy team can do about it because you're spawning all of these statues. If they try and contest, they're all just going to hit you once and you're dead. So that's one of the big reasons. They gave him that armor buff for the laning stage as well, which really suits this brawling style of meta. And it's one of these heroes that's a really nice counter against the Wraith King as well. 5 seconds remaining. You kill him once, you throw down the Wukongs, and then what can you do? You're just respawning straight into the Wukong's command. You're going to die again. So I think it's a nice little, like a bit of a block pick, you know, where you're not necessarily blocking Vici from picking up Monkey for themselves, but they're probably going to go away from the Wraith King now.
10 seconds remaining.
5 seconds remaining.
Saying before, it feels like his hero pool is probably one on the shallower end, or you know, pos 5s in the tournament. We've seen him play Venge, we've seen him play Disruptor. Not much else, to be perfectly honest. Maybe we might see an AA come out, but there's nothing really that suggests that, you know, that's what needs to be done right now. You know, you're very much squishy. You can't really stop any push from the Shadow Shaman. You're dead meat against the Pangolier, so might might not go for that. I think Endro Disruptor at 20 you get right now.
Dire team pick.
I think they're going to be okay. It really depends what support is going to be picked for Nigma, right? Speaking of supports, we're finally seeing the DY Phoenix. He hasn't picked him at all this Singapore Major, so it is very much a staple for him. And I don't know why it's not being picked more from a lot of these teams. You know, even Nigma love to play it with GH, but they're just not prioritizing it as highly as would be the past. I mean, the laning stage is a little weak, but you know, the late game impact that you can have. You see all of these plus 4, plus 5 Enigmas come out because they could just do so much in the late game. BKB doesn't matter. High HP doesn't matter. Midnight Pulse and Black Hole deal with those fantastic.
Ten seconds remaining.
5 seconds remaining.
And you know, you're probably going to get something like an Orchid a little bit earlier on. Mirana is not one of those heroes that likes to build things like, you know, a Glimmer Cape or a 4-star, for things that might get you a little bit further away from the Storm Spirit. Yes, when you get the Yules, you've got a little bit of that protection, but it's most likely going to be GH playing in the plus 4 roles, so it's going to be this 5 to 10 minute window where you are still very vulnerable for any sort of gank rotation. So you would have to assume that it's going to be the, unless they're going for something crazy. That was the thing that, like, when I was doing my prep for this series after watching yesterday, I was like, man, how are Nigma actually going to line up? You know, are they going to play RMN 5? Are they going to try him again on the 3? Because it didn't seem to work. It felt like a lot of times, you know, even if he has a Tide Hunter with Blink and Ravage up, he was the last one into team fights, and the rest of his team would die, and he just wasn't there. It was fixed a little bit when Kura was playing, but there were other issues that needed to be fixed. Hopefully they've had this time to rest, reset, and make the best go of this, but like we said before, they need to win every single game that they're playing today to give themselves even the tiniest possibility of getting through.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
I mean, in that Alchemist game that I was referring to yesterday with
10
Kuro
seconds
playing at mid,
remaining.
it was actually Weeha playing the DP in the off lane. Maybe they're going to go for the same sort of thing
5
and
seconds
put
remaining.
Kuro on the mid puck. Maybe they'll put Miracle on the mid puck and put Kuro on the POS 1 Monkey King. We know
Dire
he's
team
played
ban.
every single role in existence in Dota. He's played every single hero that's ever been added to Dota in Captain's Mode, so wouldn't put it
team
past them. I
ban.
think basically the only staple here is the GH is playing the Marauder.
Dire team pick.
Still banning these offlaners, huh? Seem to think that that's what's... yeah. I mean, they've got a little bit of initiation with this puck, but I guess they're lacking a tiny bit on the reliable
remaining.
stun department right now on Vici.
5 seconds remaining.
It's just the position 1 left for Vici Gaming. They're going to be picking up. I mean, it needs to be something that's... it depends, right? Like, that's the good thing that I'm seeing with Nigma's draft here, is that you've got this Death Prophet who's naturally very fast in the lane, so you can't exactly go something like a Juggernaut, because you could just run away from any Blade Fury. All
Radiant
your potential
team
in lane
pick.
is completely diminished. Spirit Breaker. I mean, it's another way to start a team fight. You can create a lot of that chaos, just dive in onto the back lines, even if Shaman gets a Hex off. As long as you've stampeded, you're not going to be under control for too long, and that can be the 1 or 2 seconds of space that you need for this
10
puck to
seconds
actually get
remaining.
nice multi-man silence during the coil off.
5 seconds remaining.
We're thinking of going for something like a Weaver. They actually picked the Wraith King into the Monkey. Wow. So feeling really confident about it. I don't know, like, this isn't the worst draft from Nigma. I mean, seeing an RMN Death Prophet, though. Who knows where he's laning? Is this off lane? It is Miracle playing the puck. I always see that, like, when it's more of these, honestly, meta heroes that need to be, you know, super mobile, the Ember Spirit, the Void Spirit, the Puck, it tends to be Miracle that plays them more often than not. Not that Weeha can't play them, but you just get so much more out of them when Miracle is in that mid lane, just because it fits his style so much more. And, you know, Weeha's a perfectly capable carry as well. It's even-ish so far, but is this a position 3 Spirit Breaker? I need to see these lanes. I need to know what Nigma think in terms of, like, okay, we're up against this Wraith King. We want to have the Death Prophet again. Put some decent harassment on him from long range, or if it's just going to be a 5v. Still yet to be seen as of yet. Like we were saying before, has just been changing things up a fair amount with, you know, who plays what roles in the game.
Prepare to battle!
ward placed as well. It's probably going to get dewarded, but when you've got that for RMN, yeah, just going to get rid of it themselves. A lot of teams just like to hide in this little nook next to the tier 1 tower, but very predictable. That's one thing as well. You were talking about all of the different inter-regional competition that we're finally getting to see. You know, we get to see who's actually done their homework. We saw yesterday, like Nigma and Liquid have played each other a lot. So despite what the result was, Nigma still played correctly around how Liquid likes to take this 0-minute engagement. Every single time is going to go for a smoke and try and kill someone. To get that first blood, to secure at least 2 bounty runes, and, you know, they play accordingly. They either play super defensively or they group up as 5 themselves, whereas you saw a team like T1, they were a little scattered around, which meant that it was easy first bloods coming through from Liquid. I mean, Miracle, he's still one of the best mechanically skilled players in the entire world, but it's not to take anything away from Ori. You know, he's been on a tear. It feels like he's been the one solo carrying a lot of these games that Vici have had in the Chinese upper division. I think it's going to go back and forth. You know, Puck is always really strong. You're able to use, you know, you can somewhat kind of like Kunka X marks himself to go back to base. You can use the illusory orb, get the TP scroll, refill your own bottle, and then come straight back to the lanes. We'll see. I think it'll depend a lot on how much movement comes from these other lanes. He's probably going to be looking to get really active as he is right now.
Someday they
not so fast.
A bit faster.
Damage. That 17% now come into effect. Got the Greater Bash skilled up on the Spirit Breaker. W as well has the Hex though, so needs to be a little bit mindful of, but he's going to be able to juke.
Are you? How does one decide between a chicken, a frog, and a sheep?
I think the fact that DY is able to get away with doing this, yes, he probably got the worst cam in existence to try and do one of these small pulls, but, you know, he's still taking a lot of attention away. You know, it's not a super strong lane, the Wraith King and the Death Prophet, so any time where you can make it like a 1v1 between the Wraith King and the DP, it's always a really good thing. Yeah, for sure. He's staying right in the middle of this creep wave though, next to the two Vici heroes, so it's really obvious he tries to go for something.
Unorthodox, but effective.
It's the Phoenix actually making Tation as a result. He just hit up onto level 3, he was doing a good job of making sure that he wasn't soaking up too much of the Wraith King's experience, but making sure he got that triples the effectiveness. The damage coming.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I thank you.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, and that's a big loss as well. Like, you consider what heroes are good at rotating, and you compare the pos 5s on both of these teams. You got a Spirit Breaker and you got a Phoenix, and the Phoenix is the one that made the successful rotation. So that is a big win for Vici's book.
Precious bounty.
Stupendous!
Yeah, he did end up taking the... Of course, he's got a bottle himself here on Odd 11, and he took it away from Ori, so he wasn't actually able to, you know, make a bit more of an impact with that rotation. Not to say it lets Miracle back into the game, but he at least had one wave where he could...
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Here I am!
Nice arrow.
May you ride on nether zephyrs.
It's much more of the style that you want to be seeing. You know, you got that heavy rotation coming through. Finally, Kuro makes his presence shown in the mid lane, and what a big impact. Yeah, shooting some well, just making sure to hold it off. With it only at level 1 has such that long cooldown that you can only realistically get one off it.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Decide not to group. I think that might have been a bit different if Kuro TP'd to the lane and then started his charge, but it's just level 1 right now, so bonus speed, not making an impact just yet. You just become so much more vulnerable if that's the case. That probably puts a lot more pressure on your own mid tower as well, but then he's still got those 2 lives. A little bit more fearless though. Yeah, of course. I mean, the positive if you're a Vici fan is that it's not like you're losing everything for nothing in exchange. Your tower's not really under any sort of threat because the exorcism was already used. You've got DY who's farming up. He's making his way towards his urn, but
Summer night.
yeah. Conversely,
Dire's
a lot more
middle
pressure
tower
going
is
on your
under
tower. You know, no
attack.
one's sitting around to try and defend against this. See Kuro making the rotation through. Make this dive. Yes, they do.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack. Vanish!
Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're definitely one of those teams that really utilizes vision to the best of their ability. Normally it's DY actually that's making these great vision plays, but didn't sink Q so far this game. DY's just sitting back fine.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh, what I miss?
Bounty! Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dire's courier's gone down in flames. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Target unknown. The song likes to sweep.
Smoke coming out here as well from the team. You've got 4 heroes grouped. Tower instantly gets popped, and they know that exorcism is on. They know that they make the play happen, and it's a miracle. Priority number
1. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Too often you see someone like a Monkey Kid go first item Desolator as well. It doesn't give you any stats, doesn't enable you to brawl that much easier. It's not like it synergizes that amazingly either with any of your other heroes. Maybe the Puck if he goes the phase shift attack after a Witchblade, but it looks like he's going spell damage with that Veil of Discord queued up.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Depends what he gets after the Veil, right? Like, of course, it's really good for your own damage. With GH as well, you're able to get off a lot of damage with that Starstorm. He's almost level 7, so it's going to be maxed out quite shortly. Same thing with the Crypt Swarm, so it's not
top tower is
terrible,
under attack.
but it's just, I don't know, what
tower
he's got
is
and what we has got is going to sync up what they
Dire's
can do
top
in
tower
this
is
15
under
to 20
attack.
minute mark.
Allies disappear.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Well, they meant that one, right, when he hit
fallen.
level 6, but it just didn't result in a kill, so it's meant that he's able to play a lot more of this greedy style where he can just sit back. He doesn't care if they rotate through him, because worst case, you've still got all your towers, you can TP through a
Over here!
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, of course. And, you mentioned before about how they want to be running at Vici. They want to be taking a lot of pressure to them because you know that this Wraith King is not going to have any kind of part in these early team fights. But can't do that without Exorcism. You might get a couple of kills, but it doesn't actually result in anything, and the game state doesn't really swing too heavily in your favor as a result of everything. So maybe going something like stand out, but like Mars or just one of these other offlaners that has these low cooldown abilities where you're able to actually constantly run people might have been a bit more effective. I mean, it's really only effective if you die, basically. So if he's that far ahead, you don't give them the chance to put down their Wukongs, and if you force an early Wukong, you can just run out of it, and then you're not really that concerned. I mean, it surprised me to see got the Blink Dagger coming up next for the Shadow Shaman, but I think the 4-star is probably the next priority.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Shadows, take us.
The messenger.
Even bring the Wraith King down to the bottom side. I mean, yes, they've lost the tier 1 tower, but like you mentioned, it's 15, 16 minutes in. You don't really care all that much. You've got what you needed to. Might be a little trouble now, though. At least he's level 12.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Haste!
Yeah, the plus side for him is not losing too much reliable gold, because he was able to pick up the Sacred Relic components. So getting very close to becoming a lot more of a terror in this. Storm Spirit wasn't present there at all. He was just trying to get the Orchid, so maybe getting a little bit too greedy there. Wouldn't surprise me to see this 4-man rotation come through from Vici. They might be a little bit cautious because they saw that the Exorcism didn't need to be used by Nigma to make that happen, and you can see they're trying to go in onto Ori before he's able to pick it up. He's got that cool
Perfect.
Perfect.
Sinks.
Short-lived creatures.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Great egg.
I've been waiting to set you up.
I think just overstaying their welcome a little bit there, Nigma. You know, in order to make that gank happen on the bot lane, where they were able to pick off the Storm Spear in the first instance and put him on the sidelines for 40 seconds, Iron Man had to use his TP to get back to that sort of area. So it meant that he wasn't able to TP up to the top side, use his Exorcism to actually, you know, keep them in that fight. They still had Exorcism off cooldown, but he was just sitting bot side, trying to get that level 12 so that he could have that doubled effectiveness, and he just ended up popping it anyway and didn't result in anything. I'm not sure if it was spotted out by Vici or not, but if they did, this opens a huge window for them, because now you've won a team fight, you've got the Radiance, you've got the Orchid, you're starting to build towards that BKB on the Storm.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Triple kill.
Let's just come.
Yeah, and all the while, Old Eleven's just like, oh, an ancient stack, I'll take that away from you. It just extends that lead, and just feels like this Weeha Monkey King isn't really resulting in anything. You just saw in that team fight, you know, he goes down relatively easily. No stats provided by Deathloop. It's not like, you know, an Echo Saber that at least gives you that little bit of strength.
Is mine. Is the war over already? Did I feel a creak in my joint?
With great difficulty, essentially. I mean, you're going to need to wait for someone to basically make a misplay right now in each game, right? You're getting closer and closer with that BKB. I think they've actually taken like a fight with this level 2 exorcism available for the Death Prophet, so
Radiant's bottom
if
tower
we're able to
is
make something
under
happen
attack.
before those BKBs start to come online, because like I mentioned before, right, Miracle's gone this magic damage build. You can see he wanted to go for Dagon as the first item after the Veil of Discord, but because of how easily people are dying, he's forced to go back into the heal set difference.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under
We've even
attack.
got the jam on DY, so he's just going to be moving around, maybe using the Fire Spirits just to pop up vision onto the high ground, and it just takes away so much control, map awareness, and it's mentioned before how effective it's been. So
Dire's middle tower is
ambitious.
under attack.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yeah. And they just have the freedom to go take that top tower, you know? And they go on now. Whereas we fought out, didn't pop the Stampede just yet.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That's a good edge. I shouldn't have executed the blacksmith.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Yeah,
under
Red King
attack.
almost hitting his level 18 as well, so that's just going to enable them to, again, be that much more, play that much more aggressive style. Like, you don't need the mass
Radiant's
serpent
bottom
boost.
tower
You
is
don't need
under
the super
attack.
mode. And, like, the stun ray starts to outweigh the super mode. That's available every 30 seconds.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. The Dire have reinforced their structures.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
11 is playing well. Not only, you know, winning the lane against Weeha, that Panga versus the Monkey King, probably always going to happen, but just the amount of times that he's been able to use that Rolling Thunder, Blink Dagger in onto multiple targets, and...
Over here now!
Precious bounty.
Dire's middle tower is under attack!
Yeah, and that's the thing, and, you know, with that tower going down, I think it was, well, he only got the assist gold from all of that, but DY, now he's got enough to be able to pick up the 4-star. So even if you get the perfect Wukongs out, either just 4-star for Wraith King away, or even if he's in poor position himself, 4-star for Weeha out of it, so that, you know, the Wukong spell breaks. Made a difference there, but I don't see the point of Weeha just having his Ogre Axe purchased and sitting on the coin. Why not have it on yourself? Like, it doesn't exactly reveal it's a BKB. Maybe you're going for an Echo Saber, right? And you're not going to be doing anything else. Let's just keep it alive.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Looking ominous.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's courier has been slain. Dire's middle barracks have fallen.
See here, Vici Gaming, they're just taking whatever they want to, you know, they don't even need the safety of that Aegis. They the rotate through towards the top side. Level 20 now on the Wraith King, building towards that AC. It just feels like they've itemized correctly for every single portion of the game, and they've itemized collaboratively as well. You know, it's not like the Blink Dagger might not have been the best item for Old 11's own game at that point. The amount of times that he was able to save either the Wraith King or the Storm is insane, and that's exactly what an off-laner needs to do.
Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire's top barracks have fallen.
Why they call it the Neck God.
To me. Blown away! Ha ha ha!
They can even just go whack that T1 tower bot if they wanted to. Oh, he's sitting on 13 HP. Maybe not wanting to refresh the glyph, you know? You got 50 seconds. Try and end the game if they get another pick-off. I think that 1% is probably just around Weeha's weakness. If you get that and level 18, then maybe if the planets align and, you know, everything works perfectly, try and take a W, at least in one of these team fights. Work from there, but it's a long way back to becoming.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Even the Shaman hitting up onto his level 15, so he's got that extra cast range alongside the Aether Lens and the Psychic Headband, so good luck to anyone that's even mildly out of position, as we see right now.
Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Will you not rise in my presence?
Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Dire's top barracks are under attack.
Why not? You know,
Dyer's top
it's one of those great
barracks
items
have
from
fallen.
Pango that just lets you scale into the later stages of the game
Dyer's
with the
bottom
addition
tower is under
as,
attack.
BKB starts to
Stupendous!
Dyer's courier's gone down in flames.
Son of a...
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a pick your poison sort of thing, right? Like, do we leave the base and try and make something happen before Roche comes up? Well, we don't have enough items, or do we wait for them to have 2 lives on their shops? It's not really a winning position to be in, regardless. Use that Moonlight Shadow. I think they used it when people were on the low ground, so it could have been spotted out if Vici were on point with their vision. But the time has come. Roche is being taken again. That cheese can have as well. It's scary. Close to level 20 as well in the storm.
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
Immortality is mine!
Finished up as well. Arcade right in the bottle. Thanks for
Dyer's middle tower
this is the
is
end of the
under
game.
attack.
They used the Wukongs, they used the Exorcism, they've got nothing left, and they lost nothing. Just the Rolling Thunder to potentially wait for 20 seconds. You don't need the Massive at all.
Here I am!
Look how confident that is.
Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
Dyer locked down their structures. Dyer's middle tower is under attack.
Shadows take us.
Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
Are we at 100% yet? We're still at 99.
Dyer's bottom tower has fallen. Dyer's bottom tower is under attack.
Dyer's middle tower has fallen.
Dyer's ancient is under attack.
Victory.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that basically means Nigma's days are numbered. You know, they needed to win every single game that they could. If they did, they would have been on a 4-6 record, which, you know,
Shopee for Mega Shopping Day. Shopee for Mega Shopping Day.
Shopee for Mega deals, free shipping every day. Shopee for Mega Shopping Day.
Shopee for Mega Shopping Day.
Shopee for Mega Shopping Day.
Shopee for Mega deals, free shipping every day. Shopee for Mega Shopping Day.
Get the best deals this Shopee for Mega Shopping Day. Shopee.
Come on, let's play. Ain't nothing gonna hold us down. Ain't no stopping us now. We got the keys, we're running this town. Come on, let's play.
This is not your grandfather's apprentice. The winner will receive the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work for me as my protege. You bombed, and you bombed.
I've fallen a million times, but I get back up and I fight, and that's what you guys will do.
This is the toughest apprentice in history. May the best warrior win.
We all have different adventure stories to tell. Different paths, different choices. I chose an unusual path, a choice that is not for everyone. You are constantly moving from place to place. You have to sacrifice a lot of time. You have to focus to be on top.
Ice does have 4 staff available. Oh, Ice, he's in trouble.
Every journey has ups and downs. All you need is to focus on your goal.
Just eating them all alive. GG is cool.
We all have different adventure stories to tell, and mine is just getting started.
Welcome back to the One Esports Dota 2 Singapore Major. We are in the first series of the day, the wildcard day 2. It is AS Monaco Gambit taking on PSG LGD, and the first game went the way of PSG LGD, and we credit PSG LGD for that victory, but at the same time, we were also disappointed, gods, in the performance of AS Monaco Gambit.
We were. It was uninspiring. It was just too individualistic. They didn't play as a team. They played as individuals. There was nothing cohesive about it. It wasn't team Dota. It was just individual Dota.
Yes, Tsunami.
Standout performances. We saw nothing to say. I don't know how one-to-one those translations were.
Yeah.
Because basically his manager was translating on the fly, and so I remember him. I guess there's no real easy way to translate CRT. I don't know if they cathode ray tube really is in the common lexicon. So they were miming it out. They were like, what kind of monitor was it? He was like, it's like one of these monitors, and I'm like, what? And they're like, the big one, the back, and I was like, oh, a CRT monitor, and they're like, yeah, that one.
That's pretty funny. They should have let that in.
I know, they should have.
That would have been funny.
Half the time I was like, okay. That's why I was repeating the things, because I was like, okay, now I understand what you're trying to say.
I wonder if his older brother is still playing Dota.
Yeah, that would be curious.
That's yeah, that would be. We got another opening with the Abaddon. We got another Ancient Apparition, this time a little bit earlier on in the draft. They go for their opening of the 2 supports with the Xingqiu Tusk, which, by the way, yesterday as well, he plays that hero really well. Very happy to see that. I'm surprised AS Monaco Gambit go for the same opening here, though. Tsunami, are you?
I don't really feel like the Abaddon was an issue necessarily.
The draft wasn't an issue in general.
The draft wasn't an issue
That
in
is
general,
true.
yeah.
That is very true. They probably feel they should have definitely feel the same way, I think.
Yeah, so in terms of like strategy, I think it mainly is going to come down to in-game tactics as opposed to the heroes that they pick. So even if they go for wait, so who was their second pick in
Monkey
the last
King.
game? Monkey King. Yeah, they go for Monkey King again. It's a denial pick. Ame loves playing that hero, so take it out of his hands. Or they can go for no one's Nature's Prophet if they want to bump it up to first phase and they're worried that LGD might take it away from.
Does it put Dream on less of that like super hard carry? Like I feel like they've had a bit more success when he's been on the, you know, big TB, I guess Weaver one of the games, maybe less, I mean kind of a hard carry in many ways,
but I think also those games are dependent on no one playing like the more boring heroes like I was mentioning, like the Bristleback and Vipers.
That's where I think that game was slightly different for Gambit because it was more like no one was on the carry that was meant to win the game. They picked this OD to counter the TB and win them the game.
Yeah.
When usually I think Gambit's strategy is more around Dream.
Yeah.
It is very unusual to see a team take so much bonus time in their second pick.
They would have expected, I think, PSG LGD to go with the same opener. I think that's why they're confused. They expected a Tusk Nature's Prophet again. They probably have. So, a cool move from PSG LGD to change their second pick, because that really stumped Gambit.
Yeah, and it shows in the bonus time. We'll see if they get into trouble with that later on. They do go for the Beastmaster. I don't think you can go wrong ever by picking a Beastmaster. He is such a strong presence in any game right now.
Beast into AA, that's what they did last game. They're going to do it again. We've kind of said, and we'll say it once more, the draft wasn't the problem. The lanes were really good. They won all 3 lanes. Generally, you win 3 lanes in Dota, 99% of the time you're winning those games.
I don't even think you worry about banning out a Terrorblade if you're Gambit. Let it go through. If you want to mix things up for...
Target, like we saw Viper banned last game, wouldn't be surprised to see it banned again.
Yeah.
But for now, the Weaver ban, what definitely looked like one of Dream's best heroes.
I'm amazed how both on day one, both streams, and from what I'm seeing so far on the other stream right now, Wraith King is slipping through like every single draft.
Yeah, people don't really care about that hero as much. Even though at the start of the DPC leagues in every region, it was very highly.
Develop, but I think group stage teams are looking at this and being like, oh wow, this puck, this right-click puck,
Yeah,
might have some potential here. I might need to look at that.
Yeah, maybe because it's not yet figured out, they just don't want to face it. And these games are just too risky to let it go through.
I think Puck was playing this box where it's like, you know, there's no real solution to Puck, but it's not like OP enough that you have to ban it. But I think now that we're seeing this, you know, right-click build come more and more into play, and just we keep seeing how strong the hero is, it may start getting banned more and more.
Yeah.
LGD do indeed ban out the Viper.
Yeah.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Cohesion. They need to pick not just heroes, but items that actually work well
Radiant
together.
team
You know, you don't want to put all of your eggs into one basket, let's say all magic damage, but there's no point in going a Desolator if you're the only right-click hero on the team. You need someone else that's actually able to make full use out of that. and it felt like they didn't really have it. It also doesn't accelerate your farm at all. You're just going full in onto team fights and tower taking.
10 seconds
we saw
remaining.
what the result was. We'll see how it changes around this time. We're seeing the Void Spirit being
5
picked up
seconds
first this time
remaining.
instead of the Puck. Again, it feels like this is going to be another Miracle hero, because whenever he plays it, he wins the lane. Whenever Weeha plays it, it's kind of like a draw, occasionally a loss. So I think they're, again, just wanting to get out of that lane stage while not being at a big disadvantage. This is what I was wanting.
Radiant team pick.
And it's not even just in the POS 4 role. They also
10
gave it to
seconds
DY
remaining.
in one game when it was just a fantastic Grimstroke game. So they gave him the POS 4
5
Grimstroke.
seconds
He rushed
remaining.
Ags against a Wraith King. And they even had a Pangolier on the enemy team. And he just dominated. So we'll see what they do. I've spoken to a lot of people and they're like, look, it's either a 3 or a 4. They prefer it as a 3,
Dire
but
team banned.
each have made it work.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, Vici actually
5
played an
seconds
okay
remaining.
amount, and it's one of those heroes that once you give it a decent start, you can actually just leave it in the lane, right? Because you can pull waves, cut towers, pull waves into neutral camps, use your sandstorm, and just accelerate your farm in that way. You know, if you get a good start on it, there's not really too much that you can do to kill the SK.
Radiant team
Especially
banned.
with a hero like the Phoenix, right? That's probably going to be GH's hero. I'm really surprised that they haven't picked it up until now,
Dire
since he's
team
such a good
ban.
player on the hero. But not great at rotating. That's
Radiant team ban.
Ten seconds remaining.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
like I said before, it depends. It depends if it needs to be a 4, which is obviously the main preference, or if it's going to be the position 5. Because if, for example, they need someone to build a spirit vessel, maybe it's more leaning towards being a 5. But if they just have the luxury of being able to go straight Ags, things with Luna though, it feels like it's not super strong until at least level 15, right? Because then you've got the minus 3.5 seconds and the loose is being cooldown down, and you can't actually able to cast a 300 damage spell every 2.5 seconds. But before that, how many times do you
5
see a
seconds
position
remaining.
5 like cast multiple spells in the team fight? You're just going to be target 1 for Miracle to jump on and blow up every single time. Yeah, and I wonder how much of it is because they've seen the Dota anime, right? Like, have you seen it? She is a beast in that anime. I thought it got a lot better in the second half. Like, there was some really nice action. But world building casting. We're gonna hopefully see at least 2 more books. 1.
Ten seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
It's a good hero for DY to have. The thing I'm a little... I don't want to say concerned about, but I hope they don't go too all in
10
onto
seconds
like
remaining.
this one hero. Let's say it's a Deucer or something like that. Because if you go this
5
full protect
seconds
1
remaining.
style, where you've only got right-click damage as your main tower taking and damage source, then you can actually go something like a Bane and use the Enfeeble to severely prevent the damage that's coming out onto your team. So if it's an illusion-based hero like a Terrorblade, it's totally fine. But I just don't want to see a Deucer being picked up this abandoned fortress. Yeah, I mean, that aura is really strong in lane, and it has really good effectiveness with, like, a lot of different hero units. You know, like the Visage Birds take advantage of it, for example. They attack for not that much damage, but they attack really frequently. Now consider them doing an extra 35 damage every, you know? Like, it's... If you're able to make it work, it's great, but there aren't too many drafts that a Luna and a Visage fit into at the same time.
Radiant team pick.
Grimstroke.
I mean, it's fine. You know, it enables you to be a lot more active with your Void Spirit. You know, you've got that initial burst stun. You don't need to hit the Aether Remnant to be able to set up a lot of your combos. Big swell that he's able to go on in. Just let Miracle do his thing. I feel like he hasn't had that game-winning performance just yet, but to be fair, he hasn't been given much.
Dire team pick.
Soul Warlord.
I'm going to see a Troll Warlord here. I mean, it's another one of those heroes, given that Sand King generally likes to be used for pickoffs, like, it's such a rare instance where you're going to be using, like, a Blink Epicenter to start a fight. So it's going to be Warlord, Troll Warlord that starts things off. You're going to rally around him and then use the Sand King for the counter initiative.
Radiant team ban.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, for sure. It also puts into question, like, how are they actually going to lane this? So they go to look for a bit of a lane swap to make sure that Razor is taking on the Troll Warlord in the laning phase, or is it just once these team fights start, that's when you really want to be considering it? Seeing a lot of, maybe it's going to be a mid-Razor as well, because you see all of the different heroes that they're banning out with that last phase of bans. It's ones that can just easily break the link.
10 seconds remaining.
5 seconds remaining.
So what do Vici have left? Ember Spirit still in the pool, which isn't terrible. You're able to, of course, the Razor Link quite easily, but you are left a little bit vulnerable for the Grimstroke to get that Soulbind off onto you. Invoker, maybe? But I think that's a little bit too much animate love. He was sick.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah, like they are heavily focusing their bans on Ori. Like DP, Puck, Storm, Pop, his main heroes. You've already got the Void Spirit picked up as well. Kunkka, Invoker, and Ember Spirit are probably the last three, but as mentioned, Ember Spirit, not great against the Grimstroke. Kunkka, you don't want to play that against the Razor. It's really left there.
Radiant team pick.
Elder Titan.
Hopefully that's not a random, because they got right down to like 1 second.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yes, the troll, potentially. Yes,
Choose your hero.
Finish up with the Leshrac here. Okay, so some good movement speed. So you're able to, if they were opting to put that Razor into the mid lane, you could just run away from it, and yeah, you're not reliant on your right-click damage for it. So even if you do get all of your damage sucked up, you don't really care. You know, the right clicks are just a little bit of a bonus for yourself. And we can see it is going to be Kuro playing the ET and RMN on the Grimstroke, but again, who knows? Who knows how they're actually going to lane with this? As we saw, it was RMN playing 3 in that game. Yesterday, occasionally it was Kuro. Still yet to see. I guess, but it depends if they want to go for kill potential or if they're just looking to secure the early game for themselves. The thing is, like, with a Razor, you're never really that worried about him being the one to end the game, for example, whereas Troll Warlord definitely is. Siege very easily, he can take Roshan really easily. That's another benefit that they've got going for Vici, right, is that with the Lunar Blessing, with the all the Diabolic Edict coming out from the Leshrac, and of course the Curse of Avernus from Abaddon and the Fervor, Roshan's going to die really quick if Vici ever get the opportunity.
I sense a connection between us.
Prepare for battle.
I'm still going to favor Vici, both because of the draft kind of feeling a bit more able to take objectives, but come on, it's a 5-0 team against a 0-7 team so far, so that's weighing a little bit on the line. A lot of damage that Kuro's going to be able to pick up, but surely you can't walk onto the high ground, though. Kuro's the big boy.
First blood for Salamene and for the Dark Moon.
Yeah, and that also means that, you know, going to be a really fast earn coming through from this Luna. So,
Woo! It's starting!
really heavily
it's starting.
underrated part of it is that it turns the Sage's Mask from 0.7 mana regen into 1.5. So you're just going to be able to spam those Lucent Beams a little bit more frequently in the lane as well. Plus. Yeah. They end up dewarding on the ward that the Radiant team put down as well, but it secured them the kill. They're going to take that as a win. Remember, they denied the Observer one last game.
You're going nowhere.
I think so. I mean, Razor, as much of like a somewhat fast hero he can be, he's not something like this Miracle Void Spirit that can just quickly get out of all of the AoE damage that's able to be pumped out. Same sort of thing with the the Elder Titan, right? He needs to actually be in the team fight, doing the vast majority of his effectiveness. Try to whack a few times, but he does not have much extra damage coming through from that, only the plus 12. Maybe. I don't want to say a little too greedy, but PYWE was trying to go for the kill onto GH. That Fairy Fire ended up saving him. It does mean that with that death, they've got the completed urn available for this top side. Yeah, for sure. I mean, DY, you're not able to really do much, again, unless you're getting in onto the front lines and trying to harass out Weehab, but that's exactly where he wants you to be. Come on, DY. Give me my own. Finishes it up, but Kuro gets the lucky tranquil boots delivered through to him, so he should be just... You can see he's even backpacking them to make sure he didn't take any of that right click, so gonna have them back available right now. Maybe make the long rotation around just to make sure he's not... Yeah, no, he's confident that his spidey senses say PYW's not. Yep, Astral expiring, he had the Tango ticking, and right at the end there he walked underneath the tower, so he has that little bit of extra armor coming. That would have been enough.
There is nothing in the desert that frightens me.
Ironman's doing a great job on this bot lane though. I'm wondering why maybe they haven't tried to change this lane setup a little bit. I suppose whenever you are the team that moves first, the enemy team always have the luxury of being able to react to it. Finally we see the Luna come down towards this bot side to try and put a little bit of pressure at least.
Invisibility! That's not for the likes of you.
Yeah, of course as well. I felt like they were in a little bit of two minds as well about whether they did actually want to go for a gank there, because the Luna was probably only one creep away from hitting up onto that level 3. Just makes the Lucid Beam so much more impactful. Kind of like, well, we just tempt this, maybe, maybe not. easy last hits in late, other than missing. A bit surprising. Another dive.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
That might be dead though.
Sends me home. Next time.
Yeah, and the other thing was the urn, which is now being used onto Joyo. Wasn't used aggressively on GH. Might have been able to pick up the kill if they did.
Such regional concerns are beneath my time.
A lot more positive right now. We're talking about kingmakers, you know. Teams, even though Nigma don't have any more chance, unfortunately, of being able to make it through to the group stage, Vici, they could still drop down into that 4th position if results don't go their way on some of these other games. Play for. I think it was one of the Liquid games that we saw yesterday. I must have seen about 8 bottle refills that they had for Mickey's heroes. It was ridiculous. They just want to enable him to be as aggressive as possible. And you'll love to see it. That's what this meta is. Aggressive position 2s, and Miracle is doing a great job.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Keep the tower alive. You've also got the Lesh a bit late with his maxed out Diabolic Edict, so maybe he could look to make a bit of a play happen. Man, oh man, what's Miracle?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, still ends up going down, but man, that is a lot of absorption, a lot of reduction, and that's all the time that you need. That's the coordination that we want to see. We are having time to TP through. He's only got the 2 points in the plasma field, but he's still able to clean up that fight.
Tribute to my house. You sought to bargain something of little value.
They've got the lead, they pick up a few neutral items. One thing I'm a little confused about is the Boots of Travel coming through from Miracle. Yes, it means that he's able to rotate around the map a lot more, create a lot of havoc, don't give any sort of space to a lot of these heroes, but I feel like the Yule Scepter is a totally viable pick as well, because, you know, pre-BKB, if the Troll pumps the Battle Trance, it's just a Yule's and then look to reposition, so also effective for a lot of these pick-off setups.
Radiant's
I mean,
middle
Necrobooks
tower
just
is
busted
under
right now,
attack.
so I think it's totally fine.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And now conversely, from what you saw, like in game 1, it was the Death Prophet using the ultimate and you're not able to make anything happen once that's on cooldown. Well, it's kind of a similar situation with the Eclipse. It's a huge portion of the damage that they've got super early on. Vici Gaming, you can't put everything onto this Leshrac, and Sand King's not ready yet. At least not until he picks up that Flick Dagger, still 700 gold away.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Might see a smoke come out for Kuro and the boys. Standing behind Miracle right now, trying to make something happen. He walks on back, smoke goes out, and here they go. The arrow's even drawn on the map.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Looks like Radiant closed the blast doors.
The question right now is, how much can Nigma take before you've got that Flick Dagger available for Old 11? Can they take this T1 tower? Can they take this ancient set? Can they get more kills?
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I actually like that a lot. You know, you've got a really fast hero in the Leshrac natively, he's got the Windlace, he's got the Boots of Travel, you're not going to be able to catch up to him. So he forces all those TPs down to the bot side of the map. They don't really care about losing this tier 1 tower, and Sand King TPs to the other side, you can just walk back to your jungle. I wonder if we might see a few more Observer Wards get dropped on the way, just to make sure that they're not making this around.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dire's structures are fortified.
I'll take your tribute.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
He does,
attack.
but you just see the difference between the Lesh having the Boots of
under
Travel and the
attack.
Miracle having it,
Radiant's
right?
bottom tower-
Lesh can TP
Dire's
top,
top
basically
tower
solo
has
take a tower on his own, while 3 heroes are forced to commit to it on Nigma's side, whereas the Boots of Travel and Miracle, he can't take a team fight on his own. He needs the rest of his team to support him and clean up the rest of the kills
Radiant's
that
bottom
he enables.
tower is under attack.
All these TPs.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
To the impurities. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Radiant's courier was caught in the crossfire.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Have a little humility.
That's a big win for Vici. I mean, forcing them into that super aggressive fight right next to your tier 2 tower means that reinforcements can come at any time. And Old 11, he's just, even though he ends up going down, he baits them out just that little bit longer, gets the epicenter off, and that's enough to take out the POS 1 and 2 on him. So what's happening now on the map? Got this Blink Dagger available now. Got even a little bit of bonus gold to play with on Old 11. feels like he's going to be the one dictating the pace of the game for the next 10 or so minutes. It's just a moving one. Time, but again, like what actual objective is achieved? But you lose a support, you lose an offlaner for the mid lane. Sorry, for the safe lane, the one that needs to be carrying, starting to take some of these objectives for you. We've yet to see a one fight by Vici because they're just not ready yet with some of their heroes. So is this he got for an SMY? Is he going to string the after the Maelstrom just to be able to combat a lot of this early aggressiveness? You could honestly go either way.
Time for my forge.
Dire's middle tower
well, I mean,
is
Razor's
under
not
attack.
exactly the best farmer in the game, right? Whereas you've got a Troll Warlord who's able to easily and quickly take stacks. He's able to farm up and move between a lot of camps nice and easily. Same sort of thing I was talking about with the Sand, right? You can just sit him in lane and use the Sandstorm and the Caustic Finale and just push it out on your own. Whereas it feels like a much stronger committal from a lot of these Nigma.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That which is all around you.
Yeah, the fact that they were able to do that, and it wasn't actually a TP response coming from Ori. He was pushing out the top lane, does a TP to help while he has the Fairy's Trinket, the Arcane Rune, strongest in the game right now. Well, he's eventually forced to TP bot because RMN with that Necro Book just push it down the tower. It's already sitting at about half HP. Oh. Feeling very confident. I think it's going to depend very heavily on his positioning. I think it's not necessarily just going to be for the Supernova on its own, although we've seen a couple of times where he just bombs in that Supernova at the start of a team fight just to give that little bit of extra vision. But the Sunray is going to be really effective, although they do have, you know, a couple of nice ways of cancelling it. The Blink Stun, you've even got the Lucid Beam with that 0.6-second mini stun. Going to be on GH to get the positioning right. You've got to have faith in the man. Yeah, and it just shows how, like, that battle trance was used at a perfect point, just at the top of those stairs. So it means that, you know, you're not going to be at any risk of dying. You also create a little bit of this barrier to be able to join the rest of the team fight. And
under attack.
Even though you got a pretty nice static link off, it's still enough with that Maelstrom to do a lot of damage. You're only relying on right clicks. It's not like a Battle Fury where it's the pure right click damage that you need. We can see here, even though they just popped the Supernova, even though they popped the Earth Splitter, immediately going for the rotation. OW is going to be the one found out.
Honor me.
You'd have wasted another spare of these anyway.
I mean, this is the thing, you don't need to go super greedy on this Luna build. You can see he went the Urn, he's going next into Pipe, he's just enabling the rest of his team, and just being nearby with that Lunar Blessing is fantastic with the Control Warlord given how. This is the style of gameplay that we were hoping to see. It hasn't been massively flashy outside of a couple of these team fights where they've just all grouped up around Miracle and, you know, 4-man Resonant Pulses have come off really well for them. Now that he's got the Kyron Sand, she's actually at a much lower risk of dying. You know, they've got some decent stun combinations. The roots are going to be reduced in a good amount of duration through that status resistance coming in from the Kyron Sand. And even going into that Yule Scepter next, so... more survivability, a lot more pick-off potential. We've got a shot.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I mean, Nigma on this. Out, split up.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And that's the thing, you know, actually, they didn't pop any ultimates other than the Eye of the Storm and, of course, like you mentioned, the Astral Step Charges, but you've still got a lot of fight potential right now with your ET, Phoenix, and Grimstroke. It's surprising he used the Yule Scepter on himself or the Phoenix on the Sand King there. Might have been able to get away.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Most
Looks
likely.
like Radiant closed the
Refresher's
blast
built up.
doors.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
GA. The tips are warranted, that's for sure. You know, straight up carrying that team fight, both with the use of the Sun Ray just to keep his team alive. We saw how effective it was just to get the troll out of position as well at the very start of that. It was Divide and Conquer, led by General GH.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Are they able to take out that T2 tower? Not opting to go for the outpost just yet. Really, died a lot here on PYW.
lock down their structures.
Oi, oi, oi.
Dire's courier's gone down in flames.
Dire's courier has been slain.
Throwing your lot as what Vici looked to respond as well. You can see just shoving out again the lanes, trying to force them to consider something, but what's a tier 2 when you can look to threaten racks with the siege creep available? Weeha's doing a decent amount of damage as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom barracks have fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks have fallen.
Full lane. That Sunray is just so effective. Like, you talk about these supports that oftentimes fall off. Luna, I mean, does a little bit if you're not able to get the farm and you're dying constantly. That's what, 9 deaths now for BYW. It doesn't have the pipe yet, and you just compare that to the itemization that GH has been able to get. It's on the back of just flawless execution coming through. You can see now. You're going to look to take out some of these ancients and maybe try and get the tier 3 items. There is a big jump in quality.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Again, the perfect timing of the dissimulate, being able to dodge out that burrow strike. Reason Miracle's one of the top in the world. They got, it's been there for more than half of its duration.
You can run. You should run. You are dead. Dead.
I think they've got a little bit of a window now. You know, it's a 4v1. They've got the lane all the way pushed into their base. Kuroki, he's doing enough damage. Going back, we'll be making the same mistake that we saw Gambit make yesterday against Vici.
I hope it was worth it. Fortune favors the strong. Is a great conductor.
All that, yeah.
You are dead. You can run. You should run.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, there's still a little bit in it, but it's looking promising for Nigma to be able to pick up their first win of the majors so far. We've also got, you mentioned all the damage that's coming out from Weeha, having a fantastic game, 14-3 and 19 now, but you don't discount GH. 8-1 and 27, even on that chase, like he did 1,500 damage purely from the sun ray. It is ridiculous how much tower is as a support. The
Radiant structures are fireproof. The Dire have reinforced their structures.
They go with the AC now, though. It's just going to make things a little bit easier.
I'll take your tribute.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Do they want to claim it yet is the big question. I feel like so many times now the Latrak's been caught out with a static link before he's able to get a BKB off because, well, he doesn't have one. So he's looking to build into it right now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And now they actually do have the luxury to go for this Roche play because you've got the AC. That minus armor going to be really effective at being able to take it out just that little bit quicker than you might normally be able to.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Take out Ori. I mean, they might just take this tier 2 tower and then go back to the road.
Radiant's top tower has fallen. Scour.
Nice blink dagger usage. So, I mean, they're only one lane of racks down. Yes, you've lost another tier 3 tower, but they don't know it. But Miracle, he's on the sidelines for a full minute. Same sort of thing with Kuro. So you can see the big priority being put by Weeha and the rest of the team to try and take out Roche before he scrolls into the joint. He's got the blink dagger if he wants to make it really.
Yoshan has fallen to the Dire.
Death brings an end to pain.
Oh boy, I feel like you gotta just, you know, count the little wins. You know, you got the Roche, you were able to kill the troll, you got the buyback out of it, you just got a straight up retreat after that. You know, you were fighting 3v6 essentially with that buyback being used.
Is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Radiant's
Take a
middle
little bit of
tower
jungle
is
control,
under
get those
attack.
tier 4 items. A spell prism would be real nice. What their comms are like as well, because you've already got the pipe on the Luna, and DY is building one as well. So they just want all the magic blocks. Is that prism? Just trying to go for the Nether Shawl. Dish out a lot of damage on his own. That's the big thing, I suppose. Like, compared to last game, he straight up won that game. He has been a non-factor in this game, if you feel.
Double damage.
Let the skies take you.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Nova! Nova!
So puny compared to Titan.
Supports of the real cause areas. That was Kuro and the GH show. Yeah, Weeha goes in deep, throws his life away, and they're just like, don't worry, boys, we got this. Super arrogant, super overused, but when you can combo it together with those BKBs on cooldown, with the Echo Stomp, why?
A thousand of your kind.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
This is back and forth. Like, it is a 24 to 43, 53 kill game, 14k net worth. It could go either way. Like, this is going to come down to who has the buyback at the right time.
Gold for my foot. I'll take your.
A tithe to the impurities.
Blessings, loyal warrior.
Should be okay. Take advantage of that spell prism. Much lower cooldown for it. He just hits up onto level 20. Actually goes for the health regen instead of the Burrow Strike. I was thinking, you know, maybe he just wanted 107 seconds, which would have been ridiculous. Speaking of levels as well, you've got Grimstroke. Probably only a couple of creeps away from hitting up into his level 25. So we've seen how effective Inkswell has been at the start of these team fights already. Look to increase on that, or could just very well be the Stroke of Fate damage. He's been doing a lot this game, man. Slows down that ramp up of the further damage as well, which is always great. Or on the Wind Waker is the Lesh to maybe move away from a static link. I don't know. Use it on teammates when they're getting locked down next to a supernova. I wonder if you could use it to break the soulbind. I haven't actually tested that. Because if you force staff at max range of the soulbind, right, it breaks it. But I'm not sure if Wind Waker does this.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
I must forgive you for being only what you are.
I'd heard courage, Luna. I should have killed you in your prime.
Does force the BKB on the race. That is the one bonus. All the way down at 5 seconds, so it's going to be available in about 45 seconds.
To the void.
Still, I don't want to say a win, but could have been worse. They've still got a small shot this time. Go for the stroke of fate damage as well.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
They're melting though.
Radiant's middle barracks have fallen. Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Man, how is Ori able to keep them away for that long? You know, he pops the Eternal Shroud just to have that little bit of extra armor. The Shiva's Guard doing a lot of work. Doesn't even need to use the Bloodstone either, so he's still got that little bit of survivability if they look to make that extra little dive. About the effectiveness of these neutral items, that Trickster Cloak as well, just providing that little bit of extra vision. You can see the Sentry Wards were eventually dropped in the fight, but it just gives you that second or two of respite to be able to dodge out some of the damage coming from. They are just going all in onto this magic damage. We've got an E-Blade now with a Dagon 5 and a Sanjit Kaya and a Timeless Relic on our Void Spirit. Phoenix, of course, has the the Sunray. He's also going into an E-Blade. He's got a Dagon 2 on Kuro right now and a Veil. So everyone's going to pop if they're coordinated. He had the Lotus. Could have gotten rid of that silence. Oh. Talked about. Anyway, I actually want to see. So Kuro's actually got the 100% cleave. Why not? Just to help push out waves a little bit, even though he hasn't got the Astral Spirit Hero attack. On top of all that, they've got the ceremonial robe, the ET, plus the natural order. Like, there is literally no hero in the game that can survive this combination. This is kind of like an unranked game, you know, that you play with your friends. Like, guys, everyone go Dagon and just hit this guy and tilt him off the face of the plate.
Roshan has fallen to the dire.
Immortality.
I thought that could have looked really good if the troll wasn't picked off there. They'd used all the BKBs, they had no other defensive capabilities, and all that time PYW was holding his Ags Eclipse. Eventually uses it and gets a double kill onto two really valuable targets in RMN and Weeha's Razor, but it's just a little bit too late. You're trollless. Desperately wants to get that ring of health from the secret shop so that he can at least have a hood for himself. He doesn't want to get first 100-0 with these Dagos. There's no reason to do it just yet. Same sort of thing with Nigma. Like, why not just wait for the Razor? You're in a commanding position. You've got no glyph. You've got buybacks available for most of your heroes. Still feels tense though.
Bounty.
We talk about the refresher orb on GH. That's the next priority for PYW. He's got his level 25 as well, so you can actually have that permanent stun under the Eclipse, not get any sort of chance to pop the BKB if you get it off in the right position with no other units around. I honestly think Kuro is #1 priority. He doesn't have the same kind of defensive capabilities that GH does, in just being able to fly away and having the Aeon Disc, even just the E-Blade for himself if the troll was to get onto him. And, you know, providing so much just by existing with the Natural Order, with the Veil, with the Ceremonial Robe, and that's not even mentioning the Dagon.
Arcane power.
And that was just one hero. One hero's worth. Wake up.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen! Radiant's Ancient is under attack!
As crazy as it sounds, I still think Vici have a chance in this. You just gotta... Yeah. I think it's happened like 3 or 4 times now where someone goes in deep. Most of the time it's Miracle, where, you know, they try and force out these early BKBs so that they can then take these fights. So you know what's gonna happen. So maybe having someone that's like right there, ready, use someone as bait so that you can get the instant blink stun onto them and then hopefully take them down, use that to then snowball into a push and try and end the game straight down mid.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
I mean, Ori's just got a casual 10,000 gold right now, just sitting in his bank account. Clearly invested into the right stonks, that's for sure, but just wanted to go for that Ag's Blessing, it seems. He's just about 200 gold short from being able to have that and buy. Against this game, where you're going to force yourself to take more damage against all of these Dagods, it's a bit of a risk.
It's about time.
Yeah. That was what I was talking about. Old 11 needs to be right there, or they need a Hex on someone, or an Abyssal. That's the big thing that they're waiting for. I honestly think it would be better finishing off this Abyssal than going for a Mage Slayer.
Oh, that is too good.
He's gonna get back.
You are dead. Dead.
Well, he's definitely going to need to come back. Even just these siege creeps can take down their rats. Finally, a sigh of relief for Nigma.
Quite well in their lanes. Like, no one is crushing Mickey right now. He's more than double his CS, 40 nice. And Lina is a very strong mid hero, of course, and no one is one of the best players in the world, so no surprise there.
Yeah. Well, number one, can we say on Lina?
Possible. Like, it's very hard to say because we haven't seen all teams play yet in an international tournament for a very long time, but definitely one of the best, yeah.
Yeah, just like Lisa said, that he really want to see no one popping out on this Lina, maybe having a good first blood or having a great assist from his teammates. Great time, fantastic time in early game, and just start roaming out left and right. That's so ideal, but we'll see if that will happen or not.
Yeah, it's a tough lane, I think, for Grimstroke. Grimstroke is also a very strong laner, but Lina is just god laner. As I say that, one more nuke here from Grimstroke could kill Lina.
Oh no.
Wow!
That's swift. Oh my goodness, back to the action at the bottom lane. Now it will be a twin head dragon, dual breaths comes out, he will go down. Oh, nice strike back by team Monaco Gambit. But that solo kill was a big one.
It was massive. Like, it's very uncharacteristic for no one to have that happen to him, really. Like, he's usually one of the most consistent people out there, but he has been struggling quite a bit, especially last series as well. But
yeah.
We'll see. Like, the first blood is very important for the Grimstroke. Now he's actually leading in the lane. And the Grimstroke plus Earth Spirit can really kill this Lina very easily. He has to be very careful. He's smoked up on Earth Spirit already. They want to set up for a kill. One Ink Swell plus nuke. He can die. No
Definitely.
problem.
What a hard day for him. For no one gonna deal with nothing to say, and then, well, look at this one, diving in. I was saying that they're gonna deal with nothing to say, and the Mickey right after. Mid lane, okay.
Nice stun by no one.
Yeah, but that was so close.
Yeah, if he doesn't stun him there, gets stunned by the Inkswell, he should be dead. But good stun there saves him. And
Fortune's End to Afterlife. Be fine.
This Oracle versus Darkseer matchup is terrible for Darkseer. He's getting slowed. One more nuke.
Yeah, rolling.
No.
Man, this mid lane is so... What a hard fight by both sides. Even though Mickey get the first blood first, but... that Lina can farm up quite well.
Yeah, I mean, they're both really insanely strong laners, both Grimstroke and Lina. So it's no surprise that they're both farming very well. We'll have to see, like, if Lina can kill Grimstroke level 6, you'll have a big lead in the lane. But again, like, this Earth Spirit rotation is really scary for Lina, so you have to be very careful there.
Hey, do you think the Nyx Iron Shell gonna cause some problem to Razor? Wait,
it should.
Razor. Okay, Razor diving in here with a static link, getting a little bit of the damage. Nice kick somebody away and rolling boulder. Tiger feels like he's so comfortable with this hero.
I mean, it's one of his most played heroes. It's how he got to 11k MMR.
To top once again.
Yeah, just in general, Darkseer is hard countered by Oracle. So his Iron Shell will get purged by Fortune's End, and his Surge will get purged by Fortune's End. Usually, Razor is hard countered by Darkseer, but because of his Oracle support, it's no problem for him.
Yeah,
Inkswell here.
Yeah, about to kill. Oh wait, they're trying to take down that Novan, but a great cutter gang coming out from the supports. Impel connected.
Could be a big nuke. He dodged it.
About to go down as well. Mickey crawling back into the tree line. Pop the Fairy Fire as well. Not gonna be enough. Falls anyway. It's 2 kills for team Monaco Gambit.
That's what we want to see. Good support rotations. This is what really set them apart yesterday from today, I feel like. The support movement in the early game is exactly what I want to see. Like, Earth Spirit rotates in, but you get the immediate response from the Nyx Assassin and the Jakiro. Able to back no one up. Because no one, you know, he's still a star player of the team. If you enable him, he will, like, do very well. He always does.
But one good news of Team Liquid is Boxing having a great time at the bottom. Free farming right here, now level 6.
Net worth wise, not so much, but he's doing quite okay for himself. But we just see Darkseer struggling super hard. Like, you're hard countered by Oracle, and on top of that, Razor just drains your damage. He's back to the jungle already.